Good morning. Um, Today is the second day of me starting my YouTube channel journey. Um, Today, like I said yesterday, if you watch my video, I was trying to record in downtown DC, and I just felt uncomfortable, and I found it to be much easier for me to record in my own window. As you can see, it feels comfortable, feels perfect, the views are great. So before I forget, I had to grab my camera, make a video, and upload on YouTube or on internet somewhere. So today's video, I want to talk about something that I think is crucial, something that people need to know, especially if you are planning on visiting the capital here in Washington, D.C. Now, I want to clarify here for people who are not used to the U.S. government system. There are two English words that might sound confusing. There is capital, the U.S. capital with O, and there is a U.S. capital with an A. Capital or capital with an A, it's the capital city, just like Kampala, Uganda, or Bangkok, Thailand, or London, England, Paris, France. Those are capital cities or cities. Americans, they pronounce it as cities. Then the US capital with O or Capitol is the building where all the members of governments, the Congress, the Senate, the activists, all the chaos snakes and goats and sheep go in there to advocate for the policies and laws. They craft and make laws, and then they pass those laws into the president, and the president signs those laws. So basically, the capital belongs in the legislature, if you know how the government works. Now, I am not much into the legislature. I am mostly interested in the government, the president, so the executive. I care more about people like, Trump or Joe Biden or Barack Obama, like those guys, because I don't have time to debate and talk about things that are not, whatever. Anyways, today I'm gonna tell you the untold stories about the US Capitol. If you look up on the internet, on YouTube, you're going to see the same thing. What's inside, the Senate, the Congress, all these politicians in there. But there are things that I think that people need to know if they're planning on visiting the US Capitol or the Capitol. Number one is that the US Capitol or Capitol has its own police. I didn't know this, but they don't actually use the city police or county police, or they don't have like the government provided police. They have their own special police, and it's known as Capitol Police. They have their own vehicles, they have their own weapons, their own uniforms, and they most likely use bicycles, and they are very professional people. That's number one. So the US Capitol has its own police, and yes, if you commit a crime, they will around the Capitol, they will arrest you. They are in the same jurisdiction. So that's one thing to know. I think it's very important. Just mind you that the president of the United States is not protected by the police, is protected by the secret service. So they don't work together. Each group works differently. The US Capitol works separately, and the The president is separate, despite that the distance between the two buildings are close to each other. So that's number one. Number two, the U.S. Capitol also has it closes at 5 p.m. So 5 p.m. like right now it's about 5:30. As I'm making this video, it's always empty. On the evening, it's empty. That means people coming to work and then they close just like everyone else, just like us. We go to work and we go home. So the government employees, that includes the Senate, the Congresses, they are also employees like any of us. They come in, they work, and then past 3, 4, 5 o'clock, they close and they go home, and it's empty. Monday to Friday, you show up after 5 p.m., it's empty. You show up at 12, time for lunch. You show up at 9 o'clock, people with suits and jackets and shirts coming in to pass laws and do all stuff, but then after 5 p.m. they get out. Sometimes they work overnight. That is something that does happen when they're trying to pass the law, because they work really, really hard, just like us. When we, if you work in finance, for example, like an investment banker, you may work overnight. If you work in a warehouse or supply chain or logistics, you can work overnight if it's busy season, like Amazon Prime. They also have those busy days where they have to work overnight. So, but for the most part, when it's slowed down at 5 p.m., the U.S. Capitol is empty. Nobody is in there. Number three, I want to mention about U.S. Capitol, about the stories about U.S. Capitol, is that the buildings are very boring. Like, there's nothing exciting, nothing cool. If you show up during the busy days, busy hours, you always see just suits, everybody dressed the same way, and nobody's happy because those guys are trying to pass the law. So then there's nothing exciting about it. It's just like push, angry, everybody's like on their own. But it's boring. The building's painted with white color, so there's not any exciting stuff about it. Unlike the White House, the U.S. Capitol is pretty much nothing around it. No trees, no beautiful flowers, nothing. Just bluntly boring area. The third thing about the U.S. Capitol is that they have big mirrors that stand up and it blocks cars from going in and going out. These mirrors are very crucial. Actually, they act as a barrier, and they are very magnetic, I guess, like automatic. So for security purposes, of course. So kind of interesting too. But if you have a vehicle, you can always go in and walk around. It's pretty empty. It's open to visitors. Totally fine. But I never really had an interest to go in. The another thing about US Capitol is that it's an exciting architecture. For me, I like the materials they use to build these buildings. It's such a wonderful material. I don't know what that is. I don't know what kind of materials it is, but I think I kind of like the material. I kind of enjoy just looking at it, seeing how it's being built and all that stuff. So it's a wonderful thing to see. That's all I have for the US Capitol. Also, if you ever visited the US Capitol, make sure you check out the Library of Congress. They do give out free identification card. If you come in with an ID, if you're an Indian American, you can get a free identification card. The U.S. The Library of Congress does have every single historical moment kept in there. They have everything, even things that we never thought about. Like they have things dating back to like billion years ago. And when it comes to laws and understanding things and how humanism works, crime, policies, they got everything. So I went in there. I got my ID. So as I'm gonna be doing my master's degree here in DC, I'm probably gonna be using the U.S. Capitol they use Library of Congress a lot. If you don't have to visit the actual building, you can also go online at Library of Congress.gov. You can see what the policies being passed. They do make sure they update every single day for every single row of policy that gets passed. So if you found this video helpful, please make sure you let me know, maybe in a comment, maybe reach out to me, and I will ensure I keep updating, I keep posting. Again, the US Capitol was attacked not long ago, about 4 years ago. They beat the police, the Capitol Police, as I mentioned. They vandalized the building, and it cost so much money to rebuild that building. Now, attacking the US Capitol is not gonna really make a difference because they have an underground bunker, so you can't really like attack the actual people working in there. It's not the safest place to be, so don't be thinking, oh, because it's a government building, it's not safe. No, you can easily get hurt, get armed. So, but people who attack the Capitol are thinking, oh, we're gonna destroy the Capitol and then we're gonna, overthrow the government. The U.S. government runs on a paper, not in actual building. The Congress can fly to Japan and pass it off from Japan. They can fly to Hawaii and form an executive order or something like that in maybe pass the law in Japan, in Hawaii. They don't have to be in the actual building. So I guess people who tends to think, oh, we can overthrow the government and we can do this and that, like this is not like, I guess Uganda or what else can I say, China or Russia, where the government, the buildings are ties to the government. Here in the United States, the Constitution was on a paper, not necessarily in a building, so because it got attacked and people were actually injured, now they have some restrictions in where you can and you can't go. They will tell you to go to stay back if you try to go some areas, especially across the door. So, but overall, it's a good place to visit. It's a good place to go around, walk around, and enjoy, take some pictures. The last time I was there, it was under construction, but I hope now it's done. I'm not sure. In 2025, there was no inaugurations because it was extremely cold in DC. So there is no pictures of 2025 Donald Trump getting inaugurated. Everything happened indoor. But for all other events that have happened in the past, there are many photos. Like MLK Jr., he made an historical speech where he mentioned "Have a Dream." That was the place where they were. Barack Obama has the highest turnout rate when he was inaugurated, so as many people in the area, and the many events that happened in the Capitol is where all the presidents except Thomas Jefferson, all other presidents have had an inauguration at that building. So here you have it, U.S. Capitol, untold stories. So just know if you commit a crime on that area, you're not gonna be prosecuted by the Capitol Police. They will catch you, I think, and they will hand you over to the city police and will be there to it. If you commit a very harsh crime like killing somebody, you're gonna get put in a trial immediately, get sentenced fast. So that's all about it. And today I went to an orientation at one of the university. So I got accepted in two universities, two universities, and I was waiting to see the scholarships in both. And I went to orientation to one of them. I have another one coming up in the next 2 weeks. And then tonight I'm gonna be going to a Bible study with some friends. So again, if you found this video, thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. It's a commitment, posting every single day for a year. Bye bye.